Observing according to this interview, Ripple has not been successful in changing the payment architecture going forward. I want to show you this interview that's been making waves in the financial sector and share my thoughts on whether David Swartz indicated that Ripple hasn't succeeded in changing things. The payment infrastructure providers make sure to remain for the duration of this complete as always. This is vital. Your encouragement is very appreciated on his channel. I appreciate everyone who enjoys the videos and subscribes, as it greatly aids me. Moreover, if you guys ever need a decent location for those looking to purchase XRP, please visit the following interaction, which sums up this video, is my favorite. Guy Flare is also booming right now. My favorite spot to purchase Flare is Uphold. They'll offer you airdrops and distribute your prizes using having stated that. Let's get started, and I hope you find the material interesting. Let's begin watching the video now. Just to let you all know, David and I had this interview the other day. I want to play you the entire portion where Schwartz just kind of hopped into a Twitter space and started answering questions about XRP and Ripple. Whereas this particular clip, which a lot of people are talking about and, in my opinion, misinterpreting, is where David Swartz was specifically discussing Ripple and payments. I want to play it for you guys so you know exactly what we're talking about here, and then I'll break down my thoughts on whether or not David Swartz was saying that Ripple has failed on the pavement. We're not going to stop since we firmly believe in payments. We're not going to cease accepting payments, that much is clear. But these other use cases are really significant, in my opinion, and you'll see us producing you. No, actual asset tokenization is what we're most interested in. We would be particularly interested in an ecosystem consisting of several chains that allow assets to be transferred between them and that have the capacity to implement intelligent contracts. The answer, in my opinion, is yes to all of the above. You can have higher throughput and chains with data storage for NFTs without having to try to construct one chain that works well for everything. I don't think you'll see anything from us aside from lessening our focus on payments, but I do think you will see us investigating other use cases. Use cases for the metaverse NFT applications. It appears that expanding will be necessary for us. The next big wager, in my opinion, is most likely some kind of multi-chain ecosystem. Initially, the EVM-compatible chain will enable, which is great because, as of right now, smart contracts are essentially non-existent in the XRP ecosystem. The answer, and having one that is industry standard, will make it easier. For example, hiring people to build is very easy when they know you know what you're doing. Therefore, I think you're going to see us making other bets and promoting growth in other areas of the ecosystem. The reason, I believe, is that we haven't gained traction. We desired only from payments, but that doesn't imply that we shouldn't continue to strive. It also implies that, as you are aware, when Ripple decided to concentrate on payments back in 2015, we believed that anyone could handle everything else. However, if we were going to see institutional payments in the cryptocurrency space, someone had to develop products that complied with regulations, were well supported, and could withstand audits by third parties. This couldn't happen naturally, it had to be done by a company. We thus concentrated on payments to institutions. But you now don't realize how much larger we are. Compared to 2015, we have much more resources and personnel. We can accomplish a lot more tasks at once and have access to a lot more technology, therefore I predict a fight. I used to always get along with Stephen Thomas. The ex-CTO is doing well. If we can accomplish one thing, can we accomplish 7? What actions are available to us? 10 actions that we can take. There are 3 things I believe you will notice. We're expanding the kind of work we perform and providing a kind of ecosystem of tools that will serve all of those many use cases, including use cases involving the metaverse. I'm a VR use case. I'm not quite sold on AI just now. That seems like it might become something. However, the question remains, and I don't believe we currently know what, thus the other determining when something is too early or too late might be a bit difficult. Late, perhaps, given NFTs such as Ripple. Concluded that NFTs were important to us. Slightly too late, and perhaps even we might have made a decision with CBDCs a little too soon. Thus, I believe it's deciding how much of a commitment we want to make will take some time. For example, I'm not really sure how it would look if we decided to make a big commitment to metaverse use cases. I'm still debating right now. Sure, a lot of individuals would be happy to share their thoughts with me regarding the use cases of the metaverse, but it's difficult. You have to make the difficult decision of what's right. Calibrate. You know that's what we did with NFTs. I don't think nuts are a thing. Can't wait until someone at MSE makes $1 million or $1 billion in a field. We wait as if to say, whoa, someone just made $1 billion in the NFT space. Maybe we should take notice of that, and it's a little too late for that. But if you jump on to, you'll know. For technical teams that have spent the last month constructing something like, oh, actually, that turns out that's not something you know, jumping on any trend early can be highly stressful. And then instruct them to inform you that, when an engineer puts their all into a project, nothing is worth it. The main quote that I believe people are taking away from this interview overanalyzing is when David Swartz said that Ripple hasn't gotten the traction they thought they would have in payments now. And then, that project doesn't become a thing, so calibrating is challenging. Going forward, we must recognize that in essence, the SEC has sued David. From David's perspective, these are all things he probably never imagined would happen. U.S. banks are almost unable to accept Ripple's products, and he has been subject to ongoing litigation regarding his aspirations to transform the financial system in terms of payments. An architect's assistant, this is seen by the XRP ledger. Game-changing invention that can move money instantly anywhere in the world for fractions of a smell for him. I can imagine why he likely believed this product would be embraced by all central banks worldwide in a matter of years. From his point of view, this has proven to be far more difficult than he had imagined. A developer cannot possibly be a builder. David Swartz would not have anticipated that financial institutions would effectively be prohibited, just as he would not have anticipated the SEC lawsuit. These are all things that come from touching XRP that he's had to cope with. This was Ripple's original plan, thus these are things that Ripple must now overcome. Does this imply that Ripple has failed to realize that XRP is used for payments, rather than for he makes it abundantly evident that this is still happening quickly? We can see from Ripple's previous reports that the company's previous product is expanding by hundreds of % annually and that more users are utilizing XRP for payments. Without a doubt, and I believe that another aspect of this interview that some people are misinterpreting is when David Swartz discusses Ripple's ambitions and future endeavors. Ripple has grown significantly. They no longer need to be very focused on a particular project because they are a much larger organization with many workers. Let's face it, using cryptocurrency to make payments is easy. I mean, who can't? I can provide you some XRP, but Ripple does not require it from me. Instead, Ripple should begin developing new products that these financial institutions will want in order to become widely adopted. Tokenization, custody of various debt products, in the future several kinds of leveraged products, various forms of financing, various staking methods. And all these many. What David Swartz is attempting to convey to us is that all of these things are replicable on the blockchain and are essential to financial organizations. Is that we created an exceptional payment. There is nothing on the market today that compares to this payment option. However, financial institutions are unable to implement it at this time for many reasons. Although we believe they ought to, it is irrelevant. They still have the option to accept it, but in the interim, we might as well construct more goods that they may utilize to support individuals in onboarding with Ripple's products. Faster speed onto the XRP ledger. I see all of this to be bullish news. The ability of Ripple to develop more product types to onboard more institutions and a wider customer base will, in my opinion, only serve to attract increasingly sophisticated users to the XRP ledger. This is unfavorable or detrimental. Interview with David Swartz, in which he isn't just being honest, informing us of the situation, and guys, for none of it matters to me. We did recently emerge from a barren market, correct? Adoption by institutions was probably going to lag. For the past few years since, let's be honest, in my opinion, it was a barren market. Still, the top business remains Ripple. As time goes on and I gain more knowledge about this technology, I become more and more sure that XRP is poised to rule the cryptocurrency space going forward. That decentralized neutral protocols and neutral liquidity pools, which anybody can utilize, will be essential to our future financial system, and that anyone can use them to transport value from point A to point B. Nothing has changed, but point B is going to be crucial to our financial system. Ripple is collaborating with the stakeholders to ensure that this technology is embraced, and XRP has the technology and is well positioned to take this adoption. Simply said, David Swartz informs us that Ripple is moving on to greater and better things. Payments will continue to be essential. However, those goods are manufactured. It's time to start developing fresh materials for integrating new establishments.